What's going on, y'all? So listen.
What's going on, y'all? So listen, okay, so this is the mid-season finale of Power Book 2 Go Season 1, Episode 5, the Book of the Magi, or something like that. Okay, so you're gonna have to bear with me, okay, because I know I'm probably gonna miss some stuff. I missed some stuff in just about every episode, but I hopefully it don't be that much because I watched this while I was on the go. I wasn't at home, so I'm going off of memory. Because yeah, I was trying to kill two birds at one stone. Like, if I'm gonna be out, go ahead and watch it, and literally whatever. So, bear with me. I'm gonna try to do the best that I can. But anyway, Power. Okay, so we start off with Power. It's a whole bunch of mess that's going on in this episode. And for this to be a mid-season finale, it didn't really feel like a mid-season finale. It felt like a regular episode, but towards the end, that's when it really started getting good. It wasn't a bad episode at all, but towards the end, that's when it really started getting good. When Davis and Sax had their meet up, I said, bitch, I wasn't expecting that to happen, but I'm not surprised at the same time. You cannot trust anybody in this game, whether it's the legal gang, the drug gang, the politic gang. You can't trust anybody, and that is probably what the main theme of this whole show been since inception. Okay, inception. You can't trust nobody. Okay, so we got, when it starts off, okay, the whole thing with Tasha and Davis, and it's just a whole mess. All right, Tasha is having a dream because once we open up, we see that we got Big Mama, we got Tasha, we got Yaz. They're sitting down at the table singing happy birthday to Tariq, whatever. And I'm like, wait a minute, Tasha is in jail. So right automatically I knew that this was a dream. And if I did know it was a dream, what made it was a dream that we realized that for sure was when we heard the doorbell ring and Tasha goes to get the doorbell and it's raining at the door. Oh, excuse my voice. It's raining at the door. Let me get some water. That's a little rude. I didn't want y'all to hear all that. But we family by now, so whatever. But anyway, it was raining at the door. I was like, oh my God, Raina. So if Raina ghosts popping up in dreams and stuff, please don't let ghosts pop up because, y'all can't let ghosts go. Okay, it's a whole bunch of people that's still out here feeling like Ghost is still alive. Ghost is dead and gone, okay? But, he probably will pop up in a little thing just like Angela did in Power when she was dead or whatever, a little hallucination and stuff like that. But, of course, she was... she was just going ahead and, being surprised. And you have Raina on the other hand acting like I was just here or whatever, like surprised at why she acting that way. Because in a sense, it's like Raina never left. That's how Raina is acting. But Tasha is acting like Raina has gone. And she was surprised that she was there. And, of course, she had to wake up and realize that, this was a dream. She's still in the bed in jail. And, she calls Tariq because it is his 18th birthday, so that's going on. And, they have their little conversation a little bit. And he kind of cut her short a little bit because, he see Kane over there watching him and he has to go take care of some business. All right. Kane basically get Monet, bring Tariq over there to Monet, and they having a little conversation. And even in their conversation that they having in the car or whatever, like my thing is at this point, y'all need to realize that y'all not dealing with this little regular peep squeak type of person that don't know the ins and out of drug game and just trying to sell some pills to get some little change or whatever because, daddy and mommy cut me off or whatever. No, this dude has been in the game for a minute. You know what I'm saying? And so at this point, Kane, he's getting beside himself. We got Monet over there trying to teach Diane the ropes and stuff about how to lure a man, how to keep a man, how to make him fall not in love with you, but the image of what he see in you in himself. You know what I'm saying? I said she been giving tips and all this stuff or whatever for a while. You know what I'm saying? Each episode she's trying to teach her the way of the land, and Diane was like, what, you want us to do the same thing like you doing with Detective Ramirez? of course, the reason why that nigga keep coming back is because you keep throwing ass at him. And she was like, I ain't finna be no you can't just be throwing pussy and being a thought all about, okay? It's about the power. Now watch me check this fool, because he rolled up and she was trying to get him to come, well, he was trying to get in. And she was like, nigga, you ain't finna come up in here. Okay, you ain't doing nothing and woo, 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 woo. You know, just shut him down, had him looking stupid and everything. And so at this point, you know, Tariq and Kane comes in and Kane gets beside himself. Kane wants to be in charge so bad. He wants to, I don't know, like he feels like, and that's what Monet had to tell him about himself last week. We are not equal, okay? You're the muscle. I'm the brains of the operation. You're not there yet, okay? This ain't no real partnership. I'm the partnership with your father, okay? You're just the minion and you're the foot soldiers. That's basically what you are at this point. Everybody has a role to play, and you being the leader or whatever, that is not your role. You know, he's pissed off about, I don't even remember what it is, but oh, he was mad at Ramirez bringing his ass over there to the house in the day. Oh, he gonna fuck everything up and he gonna do this and woo woo woo. And so Monet had to check him. Monet had to really check him at that point. And of course, Diane had to push him away. You know, Tariq and him, her had a little conversation. She brought up the whole photo, what was it? The drawing that Drew did. Come to find out, everybody knows that Drew is gay. I was like, oh, well, shit, bitch. Okay, no wonder. And that, the fact that everybody knows that Drew is gay. And when Monet said that speech to him last week when he was in the shower, it makes, girl, what is this? Vapor up. It makes the whole, y'all mean to tell me y'all had me sitting here this whole time in my mouth, girl. Anyway, y'all fake as fuck. But anyway, bitch, we didn't know. Okay, girl, how was we gonna call you up and tell you, like, girl, you in the middle of the review, you need to wipe your face. Girl, don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. I get it. You get a pass. But anyway, that speech makes more sense, you know, as to why she said it the way that she said it, and that you need to always come home, because at home is where you're going to be protected, and it's not going to be everybody out there in the world that's going to accept your lifestyle. That's what I got from it. Okay, accept who you are, or whatever. And so, you know, she trying to figure out who it was that he drew on there. And this is all a test, because Tariq is not telling him. He was like, I can find out for you, you know, ask Zeke, okay? He probably somebody that's on the basketball team or whatever, but, you know, just go ahead and ask Zeke and all this stuff or whatever. So Monet was cool with that answer. But later we found out, you know, basically the reason why Monet is doing all this stuff is she's trying to figure out where Tariq's loyalty lies. Do his loyalty lies with Drew, or do his loyalty lies with Monet? Okay? You know, Saxe had texted him and told him to meet up at that's what made him run from a Monet house. You know, he wanted to meet up, basically talking about the fact that Tamika's gonna testify, and if Tamika, because she got subpoenaed at the end of last week's episode, and everything is Saxe's case, Tasha case, and Tariq at this point is surrounded about this testimony that's going to come from Tamika. If Tamika testifies, this is going to mess up Saxe stuff, okay? Because then, you know, like Tamika said, because Saxe had to go over there and talk to Tamika, trying to convince her not to testify too, you know, baby girl, if you go ahead and do this ain't gonna work, okay? You gonna put me out there on Front Street. She was like, I can't, you know, I'm not your lawyer anymore. I don't have your back like that anymore. And if I get on the stand, if I'm told ask these questions, I'm not about to perjure myself on the stand. I got to tell the truth, okay? You know, and he was trying to tell Tariq that, like, he give a damn about the fact that, like, Tariq cared that he got caught or whatever. But if it comes out, you know, it's going to be detrimental. It's not going to help him, okay? Somehow it's not going to benefit, you know, Tariq in the long run or whatever. And then he got to get on the phone and talk to Tasha, and it's going to come back on him, because then it's going to have to say who saw him at Truth, because he was at Truth. So that means Tariq is going to put himself in that place to say that he was at Truth or whatever. That's what's going to all happen. It's all crumbling down because y'all lying too damn much, okay? Truth be told, I would have just locked Tariq ass up. But, you know, that's just me. you know, because he gave us the flux in the last couple of seasons of Power. So I'm still not over it. I'm still not over it. You know, you got your mama sitting up in here, you know, doing all this time, and she didn't even do nothing, but she contributed to it. But y'all need to share the equal blame. You shot that man, okay? You know, so he gets on the phone with Tasha. Why is my voice going in and out? He gets on the phone with Tasha. I got to get myself ready for the Real Housewives too, because y'all finna give me a time just like y'all did last week. But you know, it's all to the good. I told y'all, my opinion stays. But anyway, he trying to you know, get in touch with Tasha. Tasha telling him, you know, she gonna try to. She wanted the testimony so that she can get out, but then he had to tell him what was up and the reason why the case was going the way that it was, and why you got Tamika, because Saxe did this and Saxe did that, the crookedness and the evilness that's going in between all of this stuff. So now this put a monkey wrench up in Tasha plan, because if Tamika could have testified against, you know, Saxe and said what she said, that she saw him as truth, even though they know that he wasn't the one that shot James, then she possibly could have got out of jail on a recusal or whatever, probably later that day. You know what I'm saying? But it's more complicated than that, because if they do go about that way, then that means that, you know, Tamika gonna have to put out there that she knows that she kind of figured that it was Tariq that did it, because that's the reason why Tasha fired her, okay? Because she was figuring stuff out. It was too close to the belt. And so at this point, you know, Tasha was like, I'll take care of it. I'll take care of it. She goes over there, have a meeting with Davis and try to get Davis to snatch the subpoena away from Tamika. And so at this point, you know, Davis was like, I don't know what you're doing, but I'm the lawyer here, regardless of if this is really no longer your case, okay? It's no longer really about you. It's about Saxe, and we are going to put Tamika on the stand. That subpoena still stands, regardless of what you feel, what you want, what you think, okay? And so Tasha at one point, you know, was talking to Tariq and was like, you know, you need to go down there and you need to talk to Tamika, okay? And handle it. Handle it. All right. I was like, ooh, handle that. She said, yeah, handle that. You know, so he walking up into her house and, you know, trying to talk to her, and before they can get into the full conversation, Davis come over to the house. Tariq was holding the gun up in his pocket and everything. I said, so you gonna take Tamika out? Tamika just now started getting good wigs and everything, whatever, and now you gonna take her out? Like, she started looking real good. Y'all jazzed her up to take her out. Nah, so y'all can't do that. Y'all can't do that, okay? You know, it was like your death was saved by the bell, because that's when Davis came busting up on the door, you know, trying to convince her to testify and all this stuff and woo woo woo. So they got rid of that. Meanwhile, Saxe, he talking to his niece and all of this stuff. You know, he wants her basically to do some spy games up on this piece, okay? He wants her to get close enough to Tariq or whatever, but don't say nothing, just observe. Because, you know, he trying to figure out exactly where he get this money from to afford this big defense money, lawyer that he got, #1 defense lawyer in the city, okay? Where you getting all this money from? I'm not understanding, okay? What's happening? So she was like, I overheard that, you know, he was talking on the phone with his grandma, and his grandma was trying to get some money from him. He was like, how did you hear that? Because, you know, I'm kicking it over there at the place where him and Braden staying at, and I'm like his girlfriend, Braden's girlfriend or whatever. Even though we don't do labels, I said, you know what, Miss Riley girl getting on my nerves, okay? She's the type of chick that you really can't trust because you sent them out there to do one particular thing, and they go and take it upon themselves to do another, or to do more than you asked them to. And I just don't trust her. She's a little bit too flighty for me. And she showed me how much I don't trust her, because, you know, she's going out. Saxe basically told her to keep an eye on him, you know, but once again, to be quiet. Don't ask questions or whatever. Keep a lookout, but don't ask, you know, don't ask him nothing much and all that stuff. Braden is about to throw Tariq this birthday party, this 18th birthday party, okay? So he's going to this one particular liquor store where they sell liquor to underage kids without IDs. They don't card them. And so he's getting all the top shelf liquor, all the Henny, all of this, you know, everything. And at the same time, Riley is steady asking questions about Tariq. Where is he from? What he do? You know what I'm saying? Why he gotta act the way that he act? Oh, Braden, at first it was innocent little questions, and he can't catch on that this is your partner. You don't need to tell everybody any of your partner's business, okay? Y'all up here in business doing drugs, distributing drugs and stuff like that, distribution and stuff like that, and you up here telling this girl that you don't know like that, all this business, regardless of if it was just a little bit saying that, he got a lot on his plate, he's not always here or whatever, regardless of that fact, that was still too much that he told her about his whereabouts. Even though you don't know where he's going, you don't know where he's at most of the time. Besides school and all the once classes and stuff is done, you don't know where he's at after that. I'm sitting here like, boy, if you don't shut up. Next thing you know, she just kept on pressing the issue, and Z came up in there. They had a little pal, whatever. She turns around, tell Sax what was going on, that he's always going and all this stuff. He trying to figure out where. And at one point, Brayden had to cuss her ass out because it got to the point where little Miss Missy got a little bit beside herself. She was like, oh my God, why did he act like that? Do you know that he doesn't need to act like a thug or whatever? Where's his parents? Okay, he don't have to act like that. I said, girl, you really don't know, do you? Like, you gonna look up on somebody, you need to research the shit first, okay? Your uncle put you in there blind, but then again, he just told you to observe, so you didn't even have to ask these questions, so you wouldn't have to be cussed out the way that you did, okay? And you deserved it. Then they get to the freaking party, okay? And so I'm fast forwarding some stuff. We get to the party, all right? And at the party, when Tariq was over there at Tamika's house, and when Davis popped up, to where he snuck out so that he wouldn't get caught, he snuck out the back, and then he get a phone call, a text message from Brayden said, quick emergency, come to the Kappas, okay? And so he gets there, and it's a party going on for Tariq. Tariq didn't really want a party at all. He's so low key. Okay. He don't want no type of attention being sent on him. So they having this party. Girl is just doing what she doing. We see Brayden's brother, the older, member of the Kappa. He's drunk as ever. They had to push him out the way. She was telling, Brayden had told Riley to get another drink or whatever for them, refill their cup. She put some drugs up in his cup, okay, thinking that he was gonna take it. Meanwhile, Brayden then found Lauren over there talking to him, while he over there talking to Diane, because Drew is up there. Diane up there, because Monet done sent them on a mission, okay? Trying to see what's going on with him and all that stuff, get some more information. She's really trying to figure him out, okay? And so at this point, while they up there talking, what's his name? Tariq and Diane up there talking, here come Lauren, all right? And Brayden had gave him his cup. Riley is looking messed up, like, oh my God, he gave him the cup. It wasn't meant for Tariq, it was meant for Brayden, so he can pass out and tell her the bill, spill the tea and all that stuff. Tell her all the business or whatever. It was supposed to get him to talk, and that's not what wound up happening. Tariq wound up taking the cup, okay? Tariq wound up taking that cup, and he wound up going in there talking to Lauren. And I didn't like the people trying to act like. So I seen the comment in the last week review. Somebody said, it's messed up the way that Tariq is trying to play Lauren and all this stuff, but he's not trying to play Lauren. Lauren knows that he got others, and that's exactly what he said when they were sitting there. Always keep your options open. And that's why he said, it's cool about you and Malcolm, your little boyfriend. You gotta have options, and I understand that because I got options too. So if you're gonna get mad at Tariq for going after Lauren, be mad at Lauren for going after Tariq when she got a whole boyfriend with her whole life mapped out. You know what I'm saying? So they both doing the same thing to each other. They're not each other's significant others, but they options for each other, And I did think it was real bold for Lauren and them to have Diane. Let me tell you something, Diane, you are not your mother's daughter, because I feel like if the spirit of Monet would have reached inside of you when Lauren came up and did not say your name correctly, because I had the subtitles on. Instead of calling her Diane, she called her Zion with a Z. Baby, I don't care if it was close to the pronunciation or if she was trying to be cute or whatever. The spirit of Monet would have cussed her out, okay? And you don't have that that. You're so timid. You're so quiet. And that's why I just don't see it working between Tariq and her. I don't see it working. You know, Monet trying to teach her the game and trying to teach her the ropes, but you know, her kids ain't meant for it. At least two of them, they not really meant for it. Okay, and I feel some type of way that we got to teach the girl to use the feminine wiles to get the men and trap them up or whatever. And that story been told from the beginning of time and everything, and it's just like, ugh. But anyway, so Lauren and you know, Tariq go into the room, they start talking, yapping it up or whatever, then he passes out because he's high. He's under the influence of the drug that was put in that cup. And so at this point, you know, he get left in the room, and this is Braden's brother's room. He sees Lauren goes out, and then Riley comes in. Okay, she comes in. He wakes up a little bit, but he's still incoherent and not all the way there. She goes into his pocket and turns on a locator on his phone. I said, ain't this about a bitch? This girl gotta go. This girl gotta go. She's doing way too much, okay? And so she comes out. Braden's brother tried to confront her, trying to make it seem like Tariq was fucking her and all that stuff. He goes in there, pulls Tariq out. Tariq leaves, and you know, before he leaves, he get into it with Braden in a drunken, drugged out episode. So it's not really what he's saying. You know, he didn't want the party, but you know, shit happens. That's basically what was going on. So, he wound up going home, changing his clothes. He had on a suit. And he goes to the graveyard. Now, he's totally under the influence still. He goes to the graveyard, and he goes visit his sister Raina's grave. And, you know, just saying how he's sorry and how he wishes it should have been him. And, you know, it still hurts to this day. Of course it would. You know, and then he goes over there to James' grave and basically cuss his ass out a little bit. And somewhat kind of admit that, you know, he had to do what he had to do because you wouldn't take the weight and mama had to take the weight. So I had to do what I had to do, what you probably would have did in the first place too. Okay. You know, it was almost an admission of guilt, what was going on, and admitting that he the one that took him out. But you can take that, depending on what time you came up into the conversation, you can take that and twist that to any type of meeting as you want to. And I say that because there goes Sax, because Riley had to tell Sax what was going on, and he was pissed off because he was like, you violated his civil rights, okay? And I can get arrested, all right? But, you know, turned the track on to see what he was and was recording him while he was talking at James' grave, okay? And so the parts where he recorded could have been taken out of context or could be meant or used to mean anything, all right? Just to say that I had to. That's not necessarily saying that, you know, the part that we get to the end that he played for Davis, I had to and all this stuff. He could have been talking about something else. We don't know exactly what he's talking about if you want to blindly give him that. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, he wakes up in his room later, and Braden and him having a conversation. Braden was in his feelings still about the whole thing and was telling him, you should apologize. And he was like, listen, I was drugged out of my mind. I didn't even know what was going on, but my bad, if that's what it is. He was like, that's true though. I don't even know nothing about you. I don't know where you at. I don't know this. You know, we supposed to be doing this drug thing and all this stuff or whatever, but you're not even here. Okay? And so he was like, okay, cool. So that he can shut up, he let him in on the business and what was going on. So we got Monet and Lorenzo, they the parents, they the suppliers. We got Drew, Kane, and Diane, they the Bishop, the Rook, and the who else did he say? The Knight or whatever the fuck. You know what I'm saying? Anytime they pop up or whatever, you need some help and all that stuff, knock down which one of them came up here and you need some help. If it's a whole bunch of shit, knock the whole board down. I was like, oh, do you really? Now see, at this point in time, I know they kind of trying to, and people trying to think that they're trying to make Braden and Tariq as the new Tommy and Ghost, and I just don't see it right now because Braden is too sloppy, and he's gonna some shit gonna happen. I just got a feeling like some stuff is gonna go down, and I don't something. I don't think Braden really gonna make it. I don't. Something about that. You know, Tariq is a master manipulator. The way that he manipulated the situation to make it seem like, you know, he was scared. And he didn't want to tell about Sax or whatever, because if he would have told Tommy, Tommy would have came after him and all this stuff. The way he flipped the situation, he can do that at the drop of a dime. Okay, Braden don't look like he got the skills to do stuff like that. Okay, and he damn sure don't look like muscle like Tommy was. You know what I'm saying? So I don't know how that dynamic is gonna play out. But you know, after that, what was going on? So they just come to the conclusion, and that brought them a little bit closer. I don't know whether or not it's a good move that Tariq told Braden all of that. I still feel like I probably wouldn't. I would have gave him a little inch, but I wouldn't have gave him that much, okay, just to pacify him and to shut him up and get him off the cinch. But yeah, that's what was going on. So this whole situation with Davis and Sax. Davis met up with Sax, you know. Before that, we see Tasha on the phone, and she was calling, trying to leave a message or whatever with somebody, and trying to say that she wants to take a plea. She don't want to go to trial. I think it was for Davis' office. Tell him that she don't want to go to trial, that she would rather just take the plea. That's all that she wants. She want to take a plea. So somebody overheard this, told Sax. Sax and Davis having a conversation, and Davis somehow then got Tamika, convinced Tamika not to testify. And so now they finna work in conjunction with each other. It's not necessarily work in conjunction with each other, but Sax got this little bit of information on Tariq because he knows what's going on, and he figured out that Tariq is the one that shot his daddy. And so, you know, he played him a clip of him being at the graveyard. And I was just like, oh, the way that whole thing went down, baby Davis, I ain't like you when you did that, you know. You convinced her to do that, and it didn't even work out in your favor because Tasha didn't already said that she want to take a plea, you know, and now you got all this stuff. You in cahoots somehow, not necessarily in cahoots, but you entangled with goddamn Sax, and he got stuff that can be leveraged, and girl, it's just a mess. And the last thing that I really want to talk about, you see, the stuff that I don't really care for comes towards the end. Listen, Jabari and him, Professor Reynolds, that's Jabari, the black professor. Tariq came to class late. Let me tell you something. Tariq, I don't know what's going on. Like, that boy has been ripping and running. I don't even think he has had a decent 8 hours of sleep yet. We have to understand that he is ripping and running, trying to get this money, doing this drug game for his mama, to get her some money, to get her out of jail, to pay for her defense. And he is also doing his own course load of school, plus Zeke course load. I feel like it's really fucked up that they got that boy out there doing that, not really tutoring him, but actually doing the work for that boy. Okay, what is the point? What is the point? Just throw him some A's if that's the case. Just throw him some A's if that's the case, and let that boy rest. Because, listen, Zeke is out here getting a free ride all the way through. He don't have to do anything, and that is going to mess him up in the long run, because you could tell that he's been spoiled like that all his life. All his life. Look how protective Monet is of him. Okay. When and Tariq has to tell Braden that Zeke don't know nothing about this, so keep him out of it too. But anyway, so, you know, he comes to class late, and there was a paper that was due at the beginning of the class that was 15 pages, and because he was late, he said professor was like, now it's 25. And so at the end of the class, he was basically telling him, you are black. You have a different standard that you have to uphold. You have to be twice as good than your white counterparts. And, you know, you can't be out here coming in late doing all this other stuff. What with your mother? I know you've been going through some stuff with your mother and, you know, the death of your father and all this stuff. Baby, why he mentioned that? Because that's when Tariq snapped. Don't you talk about my dad. Don't talk about my parents and all this stuff and woo, woo, woo. I was like, oh, okay. Meanwhile, Jabari go and meet up with his publisher at the publisher house, I guess, where his book is being published at, obviously. And dude and him grew up together, or came up in ranks together, or whatever, probably in college. And, you know, he was feeling himself, being real cocky, and I'm talking about the publisher, and basically told him, I got this promotion or whatever. Now I could work with the white writers, okay? And basically what I got to tell you is that you got to be twice as better than the white writers to actually, make your stuff come across as if we want to touch it, okay? Because, your first book was really good. That second book was a flop if you want to be 100, okay? I didn't like the way he got real cocky with him like that. I didn't like the way that he put it out there on the table at him like that. It just felt like a new, once, all of a sudden, I ain't never had nothing. Now I got something. Now I'm gonna look my nose down on you. That's what it was feeling like a little bit. But that wound up happening, and then while they was having their little conversation, Tariq popped up to give him his paper and to apologize for his behavior. Okay, I said, you did that? You did 10 extra pages that quick? Baby, it wouldn't be me. I couldn't stand doing papers back then, love girl, unless it was something that I really wanted to talk about and I could just flow with it. But baby, when you had to squeeze some thoughts out of a fucking turnip for a paper that you did not want to do, girl, it was a mess. But anyway, so that wound up happening. And then we get this scene with Professor Milgram and Zeke. Zeke meeting up with her. They talking. Jabari keep calling. Zeke keep on hitting on her. And she eventually gives in. And I'm sitting here like, your issue last week was, you coming at Jabari at the way that he was fucking around with his grad students or whatever, because he was flirting with Lil Lauren until Lil Lauren shut that down. But now you doing the same thing. You, instead of fucking him up in your goddamn office, you fucking up in the restaurant bathroom, and I'm just sitting here like, what is this? I must have went to the wrong college, okay? Because we didn't have all this, maybe it just escaped me. What is going on? Okay, I'm just sitting here like, mind you, she just got through having a conversation with Jabari, about what his inspiration needs to be for his book and what he got to do and what he should do, and it's looking right dead in front of you and blah, blah, blah. And I was like, I know they not about to fuck again up in this goddamn office, okay? Everybody said they can't fuck nowhere else besides the office at the school. But they did have sex, thank God, but she showed enough let Zeke fuck her. And Zeke didn't even look like he was doing all that good of a job. I think she was just really horny. And that's it. Or whatever. And I still, last week, Davis, we did find out that Professor Milgram used to date or had something dealing with Davis, but I don't know what that's going to develop into. It's taking too long to get to the point with these teachers. I will say that again. I don't know. Y'all tell me how y'all feel. We saw when Tariq came over there to Monet Place, and you had the whole family there or whatever. And I think it was just Kane and Diane and all that stuff. And she was asking questions, and it was like, so why didn't you talk to me instead of talking to Drew? You showing loyalty to Drew. And he was like, you can't, show everything or whatever until you know what the footing is and some shit like that. And she was liking it. And then next thing you know, she was like, okay, well, since you say it like that, which one of my kids can I trust? And he said, me. I said, wait a minute. I wanted Kane to be like, bitch, what? And then she was like, my man, okay, they all like that and everything. And I was like, oh, okay. And she was like, come on, you one of us now. You family now. And this is the first time that we actually seen her smile with Tariq. And at this point, I'm a little concerned and I'm a little nervous because I'm like, what is this? What is this? I'm not buying it. But anyway, that was Power. If I missed anything, put it down in the comments. I've been talking for 33 minutes, girl. If I missed it, I missed it. Put it down in the comments and y'all tell me how I feel. Well, how you guys feel about it. Like I said, it didn't really feel like that much of a mid-season finale. It didn't. But, because it really wasn't no boom, ooh, ahs, that'll keep us waiting until whenever it comes back on. But you guys let me know how you feel, and I'll see y'all later. Peace.